Hi, it's Mr. G, and today we're going to be talking about economics. Now, the thing about economics that I love is it teaches you how to think, not what to think. Unlike a lot of courses that are like, okay, memorize this, do this, and you just kind of just memorize it. A lot of this course is really about, okay, here are the models. Now apply it to this situation and apply it to different situations that you've never seen before, but you should be able to still interpret it. And really, it gives you a new viewpoint on the world around you. Things that a lot of other people don't see. And I use it all the time, even in how I run my classroom, why students are doing certain actions, things around tests. And so economics isn't just about business. It is about, as I said, the world around us and understanding this. And so really, what is economics? How choices are made based upon scarcity. Everything is scarce in our life. You know, things we think about are money, time, for you, marks. All these things are scarce, but they actually drive your choices. And so that's some of the things that we look at in economics. Now, we have two different options if you're looking at economics. The first one is Economics 12. It's a good introduction to economics. A lot of students basically take this course in grade 11. You can also take it in grade 12. Got a lot of grade 12s as well. There's basically a focus in this course on microeconomics, and it's very useful for business schools. As I said, in this, basically, if you go into business school, economics is going to be one of your more difficult courses first year, math and accounting. And so with those, it's good to have a head start. If you have no experience in the field, you're competing against other students who essentially know maybe, a quarter to half of the material. Or if they've taken an AP course, they know it all. And you're competing on that. So it's always a good thing to kind of stay ahead of the competition. Some students also take Economics 12 in 11, and then in grade 12, they look at taking AP Microeconomics, which is the next one we're going to be talking about. So AP Microeconomics is definitely for the academic student. If you're coming in, thinking, I can just breeze through this course, not work. We're doing 18 chapters, so that gives you a little bit of an idea, and that is basically university material. The way the chapters are, they're covering, one of the main concepts in each chapter, and we do go through it. You will answer over 1,000 questions throughout the course, because I strongly believe in a lot of practice, but it's definitely for the academic student, okay? And so it covers basically the full AP course as is required, and we are using a university textbook. A lot of people are like, well, why don't you use, one of these study guide things? And it's like, no, we're not allowed to, for one, but also it doesn't cover everything. One of those things is those study guides are purely made to just narrow in on the most essential stuff you need for the test, but it actually does miss out on a lot of the stuff that you would have in a normal course. And so that's what we focus on. We focus on the whole course. And a lot of times, people who've even studied for AP tests come in, there's a lot of concepts they never covered before. And that's very typical of what you would be doing in a university course. Okay, so it's not enough just to look at one of these study guides. They're great for narrowing it down to the main points, but not enough here. It's university pace, but high school assessment. What does that mean? Well, we basically cover all the material. I've had people who've gone on to UBC and they said, yeah, the course was easy. They took it with me, decided not to do the AP test, so they took the course in university. They found it actually easy. We said we covered everything. And then, of course, they went on to macro, which we didn't cover, and so that they found hard. But essentially, that's what we're looking at, university pace, which is good for getting you used to that kind of pace. A lot of students I just have to teach even how do you do notes? How do you handle all this content? How do you, and going through that process to kind of get them ready so they can deal with this. But high school assessment. And what do I mean by that? Usually in university, you'd have 1 to 2 midterms and a final. I usually have chapter exams, and I usually have maybe sometimes unit exams, etc., and a final. Very heavy exam based, but a little bit more forgiving in how, I spread it out. With more assessment, I find it tends to be more accurate with grades. And typically students do very well if they put the effort in. Now, there's always a lot of confusion about AP course versus AP test. And people are like, well, I took the AP test, so I don't need to take the AP course. And I mean, you don't need to take it. But essentially, they're two completely different things. They're not equal to each other. An AP course is essentially a course, you have to get through a high school, and it's basically included on your transcript, and it's counted towards admission. When I do references for people, sometimes, the questions from certain schools is, did they take any AP courses? It doesn't say whether you took an AP test. It says, have you taken any AP courses? And then I look on your transcript, and I'm saying, okay, no, they didn't, or yes, they did. So that's typically one of the things there. So AP courses count towards admission. And one of the things that, I've learned listening to different universities talk is they want students that are going to come into the school that can handle the rigor of it. And so if you're basically pushing yourself and are able to handle a course with university material, chances are you do well in university. And so these are things they do look at, especially down in the States and stuff. They really look at AP courses as well. AP tests, on the other hand, are something completely different. I had a student, he got a 5 on the AP Micro, self-studied it, and he was so determined to include it somewhere in his mission, but he was so frustrated because no one wanted to know about it. There was no spot to put it in. He ended up just putting it somewhere, and basically he said he took an AP Micro course and got 5% on it, which actually hurt his admissions until he got that fixed up. And he realized that the only time they want it is after you get into the school and you want to apply for credit for the course. That's what the AP test is for. They're meant to go together. You basically, for your admissions, you take the AP course. The AP test then is after to get credit to prove that you have learned this material. And so they're meant to go together. A lot of people self-study, and if your goal is to get a credit for a course, then absolutely, AP test will give you that, AP course will not. And you got to be careful with the credits as well. They don't apply everywhere. I've had people get 5s and go to a school and it's like, we don't accept that here, and have to take the course. And so in a lot of ways, you have to be careful and look, well, where is it accepted? What grade do I need? And then, if you're also just taking the AP test, you haven't really taken the full amount of course. You've probably just done a study guide. And so you're going to have gaps in your knowledge if you continue on with that. And so I never always recommend that. But that's, as I said, people's choice. But just to give you a bit of an idea, AP course, AP test, completely different. You got to look, what is your goal? So essentially, AP Microeconomics course, this is what it is. It's used for admissions. A lot of my students do really well. I mean, they're fairly academic anyway, and usually do pretty well in getting into the schools that they're hoping to. But as I said, you do need to be fairly academic to go through a course like that. Okay, well, hopefully that answers some of your questions. If you have any questions for me, be sure to message me in Teams. This is Mr. G. Bye for now.